Hello team and welcome back to another Line War cast. This is your map today in a 1v1 between Animorph in blue and Keaton in red. This is Group A action from the T2 2023 tournament for Line War. Both of these players are near the top. I believe this is actually the tie-break match for whoever wins the group. Both of these players quite good, just like most of the other folks, all the other folks who are playing in this tournament. They know what they're doing. And as mentioned, this is for the top spot, which I believe does matter in the groups or past the group stage, like the bracket stage. It'll depend on the ranking of all the players to see who they play next. A town immediately for red and a industry with 3 barracks behind it. And Animorph is elected to go for a like heavier tech sort of opener with an airport, 2 factories, and 2 barracks. Blue has a pretty good refinery right beside this airport, right beside this starting location, and is building artillery pieces. At the moment, red is going to have a little bit more eco because of this town and this industry that Keaton built, and now red puts down this airport behind this mountain, or behind this forest. Something to note here, I think, for Keaton is that red doesn't really have a super obvious refinery location. This is likely what red could build. It's kind of close to where blue is, and it'll be within range of strikers that blue could build. And since it's helicopters that Animorph is building, the helicopters just have to get off the airport and go a little bit close, if this is in fact where red's going to build that refinery. Keaton's got the first factory. This is red's vision, sending out 4 infantry to go scout. Very good scouting location. I mean, this is certainly going to find where blue is. And then that pretty much does the job. And that's, I guess, what the plan was. The infantry show up just to the point where they can see that this is blue-controlled territory, which Keaton will likely guess that this is where Animorph is. There's no real other spot that blue could be. And it's also helicopters for red off the airport. The first of which for red is being constructed right now. Animorph already has 1 helicopter completed and building 2 SAMs. And this is Animorph's vision, so I think, I mean, these infantry are kind of popping in and out of vision, so maybe Animorph is seeing this. But otherwise, blue's not going to know exactly where Keaton has spawned. Keaton's got a second industry now. If we take a look at the eco, red will probably be a little bit ahead. 380 for blue and 417 for red, which makes a lot of sense. Second helicopter is about to finish for Animorph. Pretty much expect as soon as these helicopters start getting into combat that blue will put down this refinery in the mountain range. And Keaton builds another barracks on the right-hand side of the map. Red definitely has more barracks. 3 for blue, and now this 4th one going down for red. And top down, Animorph in probably the more central location on the map, and is going to get first dibs on the left-hand side with this group of 4 infantry. We could see blue go for a barracks in this mountain range as well to help cap the left-hand side. It'll, of course, be dependent on how much money blue has and whether that's the bet that Animorph wants to make. This blue army is moving out, and this is what Keaton's vision is. So they can see the first artillery piece show up. And this will look like quite the army. The red helicopters have now, or the blue helicopters, pardon me, have now shown themselves. First SAM is on the way for Keaton, which is great, because there will need to be an answer for these helicopters in some sort of way. And a pretty important fight in the north, really, because whoever wins this fight of the infantry will be able to get a little bit of a head start, capping the north. And for now, Keaton's going to drop back these infantry and look to take a better fight against this impending army. Animorph puts down that refinery. And both players microing a little bit in this mountain range. We did hear another factory go down. It's in the front of the forest for Keaton. This is Animorph's vision. So can recognize that red has not expanded to the left fully. And second helicopter done for Keaton at this point. With this first SAM rolling its way towards the front. The 2 helicopters for Animorph, perfect play from Blue, I think, to send them up to the north to help out these infantry. And there's another helicopter already completed on the airport, and the 4th helicopter for Blue is being constructed. And neither of these infantry are going to get away. That last missile from the helicopter makes sure of that. So what this kind of lets Blue do is potentially set up a barracks up here in this mountain range. Keaton's going to be able to contest it relatively quickly with this one barracks that's already producing infantry. But Red has a little bit of an issue to deal with here. Or rather has to at least respect how big of an army this is for Blue. It's got a good mix of artillery pieces, and there's enough infantry here for Blue that they'll be able to provide a good, like, kind of meat shield in front of the Blue artillery pieces if there's a big fight. And top down, this is what both players have capped. Eco-wise, 500 for Blue and 600 for Red. First Sam is now in position to sort of cover this army, this infantry for Red. But Keaton's showing a lot of patience, backing up the infantry, not wanting to take that fight until they have the numbers to be able to win it. And this is a move command from Keaton with these infantry headed towards the refinery. The refinery has negative stealth, but this one is actually in the mountain range. So the mountain range provides a little bit of stealth to it. So Red's not going to be able to see that until they get closer. First 3 helicopters now move off the airport and head towards this Blue army. And this is a power plant that Keaton is building because of that earlier mentioned thing where Red doesn't really have that easy of a refinery to build. Even this one to the north is a little bit scary just because it's a little bit exposed. And then clearly this refinery down in the picture here, Red can't really take. Unfortunately for Keaton, Animorph has the perfect number of SAMs down here for how many Red helicopters there are. 3 SAMs is just such a wonderful amount. The Blue infantry is body blocking for the Blue artillery pieces, which are now starting to open up. And it'll be very difficult, I think, for Keaton to stop this refinery at this point without going for something even potentially like very bold, like commando drops. Just because this infantry is, it's going to be very difficult for Red to actually sneak up on this. On this front, not very good news for Red. Good play by some of these infantry to jump on top of the SAMs. I don't think they're going to be able to get any of them. But they at least, you know, occupy the SAMs a little bit, so maybe the helicopters can do a few things, although the range of the missiles from the SAMs are going to be enough to start chipping away at these helicopters any moment now. But even just how long those helicopters were able to be here and destroy some of those Blue infantry, that's a very good play from Keaton. Because it'll be enough to probably stop this push, at least for now. And barracks from Keaton on the left-hand side to counteract this one barracks that Animorph has built kind of close to this choke. There are 5 infantry for Keaton that are trying to make their way around the mount, or like this forest and mountain. And so far they haven't been detected. Animorph does build a barracks up in the north by where those infantry were able to win that fight with the help of the helicopters. And this is a very large amount of artillery for Animorph at this point. So still a very scary push, and Blue does have 5 helicopters. that will be able to do a lot of work to the right-hand side of the map over time, and then now Animorph sending the rest of the helicopters that get built down to this choke. Red barracks still isn't exposed in Blue's vision. And a very good call from Animorph to send the helicopters here, because the SAMs aren't in any position to be able to defend this. Because they'd have to cut through this blue army in order to get over here. So Animorph is at 712 total economy, making 195 a minute. 731 for Keaton, making 215 a minute. And Animorph put down another barracks that'll be directly in like the line that Blue wants to push. Just generating more fodder to stand in front of the artillery pieces that do a lot of the work here. Perfect amount of SAMs for Blue. And I can't click on these buildings to know if Animorph is still building SAMs out of those factories, but there's almost enough SAMs that Blue doesn't really need to build them anymore. I suppose to get some coverage on the bottom, because Keaton's sent 3 helicopters down here as well, and is going to start targeting this barracks. 3 helicopters are enough to destroy that building. But probably a little bit of a nervous moment here, if you're red. Mounting this defense. Obviously, the red helicopters won't be able to do much. Blue has the artillery advantage on the numbers. There's no defensive lines for red. There wasn't really enough time for Keaton to dig in. And Animorph's building industry up here. This is the play that Keaton's going for. Animorph doesn't see the infantry. They are going to be a little bit more stealth when they're in that forest. So there's a chance that they're going to be able to start doing damage towards the on the refinery. But they're going to have to cross this open field in order to get there. Good pickup from Keaton to destroy this one barracks, which allows like red to have the production advantage on this side. Animorph still doesn't see the barracks. It's always the last like mile in the forest, or 1.7 kilometers, whatever it is, 1.3, I have no idea what the conversion is. But it's always tough to get through the edge of the forest if you're an attacking force. This is what Animorph's vision is. So not everything is exposed like this back factory. But it just takes a lot of care for their artillery to actually get into the forest. They're super slow through the forest, and then for them to deploy again. But this is a lot of numbers that Blue has going for them. And I don't think Keaton's gonna be able to stop this push. This is a really strong push. Red's building a barracks and a factory in the south here, and actually such a huge play. Very big play. I didn't think that was actually gonna work. So that the mad lad Keaton pulled it off. I didn't even go look at it. I just assumed the infantry were gonna get picked off. But very good play from red. So all the blue helicopters won't be able to fly for a little bit. This will give Keaton a little bit of time of no risk of helicopters showing up, but a lot of damage has already been done here. And Animorph's going to be able to continue to push. This piece of the helicopter went absolutely flying, about 6 territories over. That's right, 6 I said. So good pick off from those 2 SAMs. All these blue helicopters out of energy. And this is the refinery that Animorph's going to build as a replacement. There's going to be very little chance that Keaton's going to be able to destroy that one. So this is not good news for red on the right-hand side. This barracks is now up. The helicopters got around these blue SAMs, which is really good for red. But I suspect as soon as blue's refinery kicks back in and then these blue helicopters can start flying again, that's going to feel very oppressive like the pressure that Animorph is going to be able to apply. Blue's going to need to build a second refinery pretty much now with how many helicopters Blue does have. General rule of thumb is like 5 helicopters per power plant. And this is kind of nice. Red will probably be able to destroy one of the barracks, but very likely won't get the second one. Keaton's putting down a lot of barracks on the right-hand side. If this push in the center wasn't going so well for Animorph, I think this is actually would be relatively close. 936 eco for Blue, 891 for Red. So pretty close on the economies. It's just like pace-wise, Blue is doing a lot of damage here, and they're going to be able to pick up at least one or more of these factories. Animorph's vision, when all the helicopters get here, they probably will be able to see the barracks. And I lied. They cannot. This thing is very close, but still not detected. So one of the barracks is destroyed, but at the cost of most of this red infantry. If they keep attacking, they're going to get wiped out because of that reinforcing blue army that is showing up. And GG, well played to both. And I believe that wraps it up for Group A. By the time this video is out, then I think we'll be playing the bracket stage of the tournament. But very close. Well played both. Props to both the players for entering the tournament. Everyone who's entered the tournament and playing the games. Props to nicknames. Someone said that my nickname sucks for doing a lot of work on like operationally getting the tournament going. Herding all the cats, as they say. Herding. Herding. For folks wondering. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, enjoyed the cast. Thanks for all the support. And I hope you have a wonderful night, day, evening, whatever it is. See you around. Peace.